And about 2006, God started giving me a dissatisfaction in my heart for work. Suddenly work did not mean anything. I was like, I have the houses, I have the cars, I have all that stuff, but I'm not happy, and all this stuff doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, I can't take it with me. And so in 2007, I was wrestling a lot with this, and in 2007, a cousin of mine, she ended up inviting me to come to Taiwan and on this mission trip, and she said, after a mission trip, we can kind of go and we can hang out, and I said, okay, great. So I came. And it was there God opened my eyes to see what is happening. And I came during this Ghost Festival, and I saw these they're burning these paper money things, and they had all these pigs with these tattoos and stuff, and they were celebrating this Ghost Festival. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? And so God, at that point I realized, God, like, you need to be here in Taiwan. And so for 2 years I wrestled with this. I said, God, I have a good family. My family all lives in Chicago. At that time, I was help leading a young professional ministry of 400 people. I was, had a great job, did well, lived pretty comfortably. Everything was fine. And so even though I was still kind of depressed and still kind of very sad, and so I wrestled for 2 years, and 2 years goes by, and I'm wrestling with this Taiwan thing with God. And in 2009, God had this encounter with me, and He encountered Him, and He opened my eyes, and He's like, God, or he's like, Josh, like, I have a place for you here in Taiwan. This is what I do, and you have a choice. You can come or not, but know that if you don't come, help is going to arise from another place, like it says in Esther. And so it was in that moment, like, I still remember it, July 31st, 2009, 4 p.m. I was like, I'm in. I'm all in. So I came back, told my boss, leave. I can't work anymore. I'm going to Taiwan, but I didn't know how to do ministry. So I knew it had to be about prayer. And there was this little place in Kansas City called International House of Prayer. And they've been doing prayer 24 hours 7. And I said, well, they've probably done a lot. So they probably know something. So I went there, and God kept me there for about 4 or 5 years, and finally got released to come here in Taiwan. And so as an intercessory missionary, the primary purpose of an intercessory missionary is to affect change and transform an environment through the ministry of intercessory prayer. So as an intercessory missionary, you're looking and saying, my first and foremost priority, my first and foremost activity actually, is to sit into a prayer room and contend for the salvation of those in my city, salvation of Israel, salvation of my friends and families, and that is the primary way I participate in the global work of God's kingdom. And that's not to say that they don't do any discipleship. It doesn't say that they don't do any evangelism, that they don't do any social justice or any of the other kind of ministries that are typically associated, like children's ministries or parking ministry or anything like that. No, it is actually an emphasis on the calling of their primary, how they spend most of their time is in a place where they're contending and praying and saying, what I do there is going to affect not just what I do out there, but also affect others in how they minister, and that God is preparing environments, preparing people through my prayers, through the intercessory prayer of the intercessory missionary.